Corey, Corey's Star Trek Next Generation. He's having problems with the cannons. Sounds like a personal problem to me. All right, so here's the deal: is when you turn it on, they should swipe maybe once, 0 to 1 time. They shouldn't swipe like 15 times like they are here. And the reason they're doing that is that they can't find home. They can't find home. Doesn't that sound like a song? And then it stops, and they're kind of like at weird angles, and the game, of course, immediately disables them. And like if we go into test mode here, it'll give us a test report. Left launcher, can't find home. Come on. Yeah, there it is. Right launcher, can't find home. Just can't find home. That's a song. Another thing that it does is it keeps cycling the balls through. It loads the underball troughs and then just keeps running them. It just does this all day long. Just keep going. Just keep going. It just keeps cycling balls through. Fix the cannon home problem. That was actually pretty simple. This connector up here, which goes off to this board up here, which is responsible for the 9th switch column. So most games, God, I can't stand this thing. I gotta shut it up. Most games have an 8x8 switch matrix, but this game, because it uses so many switches, they had to add a 9th column to get another 8 switches, and that's one of the purposes of this little board here with the 2 LEDs that are on, is to add that 9th column. Got the game in switch test. I'm going to test the easiest stuff first, which is certainly the ball trough. So I have the corn door open to turn off the solenoid power, and then I'm just running my screwdriver through here, checking the ball trough switches to see what works. Well, you can get switch number 1 by just holding this thing up, pushing that thing up, and look, we get switch 1. Okay, then I'm going to use my screwdriver here. Oh, don't undo the main power. We're going to have to replace this connector here. Look at this thing. And when I wiggle this thing, look at it, how I can turn everything off by just screwing things around with that. So we'll replace that connector. But anyways, I think you got an optic bad too. So there's 2. Just using my screwdriver to go through here again. Look, anytime I touch the wire, look at that, it goes crazy. That's always a bad sign. Anyways, where were we? I think we got to replace that one too. Okay, so there's 3, there's 4, there's 5, but no 6. No 6. This connector, look at this. I had it was just out. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. When I wiggle it. So you can see the power LED go off when I mess with it. So we probably got to fix that too. The wire right here has popped out of the IDC. This gray yellow wire is the 12 volts, and the one next to it, the black, is the ground. Okay. But I can see how the wire has popped out of the IDC pin. So we might be able to just pop that back in. Okay. And so that we don't have to replace the whole housing, because it's a pain in the ass on these housings, because they're these ones that it's like in the middle, the wire comes in from one side and out the other. That means if you're going to use a crimp style, you have to connect 2 wires into a single pin, and the .100 connectors really don't like you to do that, you know, a regular crimp style, because there just isn't physically enough room to do that. I mean, you can do it, but you kind of got to force it. So I would rather maybe try and fix this. Move the board from here, and then using the wonders of the infrared camera. Look, you see how they're looking there? You see how they're all purple? Except for this one by my index finger. Look, it's not even on. Yeah. Look at that. That one is definitely dead. So you got one bad one. And all these other ones. Look how nice and purple they are. Yeah, really. Isn't that really cool? Yeah, and digital cameras allow you to do that. With a regular camera, you couldn't do that. So we're gonna have to replace this one. New connector here with crimp pins. Fixed the 12 volt, what was it, gray with yellow line wire on that connector, but saved the connector. And now when I wiggle it, you notice the LED doesn't go off. It was going off before. And then when I wiggle this one, same thing. I'm not getting any noise because I am in switch test. And I am going to use my little magic screwdriver here to test the optics, and my missing number 6 optic is now working. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then there's actually one more. There's a jam optic that sometimes it's hard to get at on this game. Yeah, there it is, says up. See the up, trough up? So all the optics are working. Exit test. It is going to reload the 3 balls under there because whenever you have the playfield up, it gets upset about stuff like that. Let's close the coin door, and there it goes. It's going to reload for sure because that's what it's going to do. But it should only do it once or twice. It shouldn't do it 400 times. If it keeps doing it, then we got another problem. It's not looking good, is it? This is last chance. If it does it after this one, we got another problem. Yeah, that's not good. Hold on. All right, right now, stop. Stop. No, we got another problem. So here's the under playfield trough system. There's optics on all this stuff. 1, 2 here. 1, 2, 3, 4 on this one, and then 2 over here. And I got it in switch test. And you know, to be honest with you, they all work. But then I found the real problem. The diverters. Like, here's what a diverter should do. There. This one, it's freaking locked solid. Look at it. It's even, the coil's even discolored. See how it's brown? It should be purple. So you've got a locked. That's why it keeps on trying to load balls. How's it diverting? I think it diverts. Yeah, it's trying to load balls, but it can't because this diverter isn't working. So that's the secondary problem. New coil installed. Now the diverter works. This is the old one. You can see that it's filled with plastic where it melted. Now we got to go up to the board in the back box and replace the burned up transistor that is no doubt burned up. Took the auxiliary driver board out here because this controls those under playfield diverters. And then just using my meter, I went through a test of the transistors, black lead on the center and red on the 2 outsides, and I found this one here to be bad, and here's the actual bad transistor. And no, I can't really do this with one hand. If you tested it, you should get 0.4 to 0.6 on the meter set to diode setting, and I wasn't getting that. I was actually getting like 0.1, so this guy was shot. So that's probably why that coil locked on. Initial boot up. Not loading all those balls like it was. Let's start a game. And then I always like to start with launch probe because that uses the diverters. It's got to divert the ball to one of these little probe thingies. So if that works, battle simulation, put it in here. This is the true test of these guns, these battle simulation, because it's just going to go back and forth on these things, assuming that I can make the shot.